welcome to We the People. As the country marks Army Day, there is perhaps an unprecedented perception of differences between the Ministry of Defence and the bureaucracy at large and the military. But beyond the controversies that involve, for example, the age row when it comes to the army chief, or the perceptions within the military that modernization and acquisition of equipment takes far too long, there is a much more basic issue. One that it would at least seem should be simple to address and solve. Why does India not have a national war memorial? In a country that repeatedly pays lip service to the man and woman in uniform, why have successive governments not delivered on this promise? Does this have to do with red tape? Is it more complex than it seems? Or is this about a kind of apathy? On this program today, our ode to the fallen soldier, and are asking a basic question. Everything else may be complex, but this should be simple enough. So why has it not been? May I start with you, General Sharma, if I may? You know, every time you have the military chiefs and you have them saying on record, and one army chief after another, for example, has said that we have gone to ex-defense minister, we have gone to the president, who of course is the supreme commander of forces, we have been assured that this memorial will happen, and it's been decades, basically, and apart from India Gate, which the British actually gave us, we do not have a memorial. Where do you believe this has basically been stalled?
When we talk of a war memorial, what are we talking about? Are we talking about a monument or a building or a structure or a statue which is just there to celebrate the victory or to commemorate those who have fallen, or is more than that? I think the first thing that we need to understand is that we are talking about martyrdom. We are talking about those who fought for our freedom, those who are ensuring that you and I are sitting here and talking while there is somebody there on the border patrolling, or somewhere in the Siachen, or for that matter even at Jang Mahal or Dantewala. So therefore we need to have, to my mind, a memorial for our martyrs, not a war memorial, because the concept of war memorial needs to be revised today, because we are talking about bringing in peace and talking about sacrifice. So that is the first point I want to make.
That's interesting, that it's not about, it shouldn't actually be called a war memorial, but a memorial for all those who have died in conflict, with the larger message of peace. That's important.
Peace and martyrdom. It is, जो शहादत है उसको हमें सलामी देनी है, ना कि सिर्फ जीत का जश्न मनाना है. That is the point that I wish to make. That's very important, because somewhere we are still carrying on with this concept of celebrating the victory. In fact, the Amar Jawan Jyoti, which has come up now after 1971, in a way it's a silent tribute to an immortal soldier.
Yeah.
It is being visited by the political leaders, by the armed forces and everybody, but it's too general in nature. We need something, and it is not the case for the army or the navy or the air force or the police. It's a national issue, and we need to look at it in that context.
But here's my question to you, General Shankar Prasad. If it's a national issue, and as I said, there are many other issues that are complex, there can be more than one opinion on it. Why should an issue like this take decades?
It's possible to understand as to why it should take decades. You know, if you look back at the history of Delhi, which has been publicized in newspapers on 100 years, the British made the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the North Block, South Block, the Parliament House and India Gate. Those are the only buildings or structures the British made when the capital was shifting to Delhi. And that monument, the India Gate, contains names of 3,34,127 soldiers who fought in the First War and fought in the Afghan wars.
Yeah.
After independence, there has been no further museum or memorial. Now, I'll give you a little background to this Amar Jawan Jyoti. Till 1971, there was no ceremony over there. In 1971, when the nation was getting ready for war, was fighting a war for Bangladesh liberation, it was decided by the country that there will be no Republic Day parade on 26 January 1972. But we had a victory on our hands by the 17th of December. So the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, decided that we will have a Republic Day parade, even though we decided not to have it earlier. And the army said the time is not adequate. The Prime Minister wants a Republic Day parade, it shall happen. but it shall not happen in ceremonial dress, it will happen in battle order. That's the only time a Republic Day parade has ever been held in battle order. And then Mrs. Gandhi said, I must have a place to go and play wreath and pay obeisance to the soldiers who fought for this nation time and time again. And there was no memorial. So the military then said, all right, within 2 or 3 days, we'll erect a memorial. And a memorial was erected with the help of the Military Engineering Service in a matter of 3 days, which is now called Amar Jawan Jyoti. A small flame was created. And on 26th of January, Mrs. Gandhi went and placed the wreath there. That is the first time the political head of this country ever placed a wreath on any memorial in India.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.